The Piecemakers Quilt Club started when Vicki Eyre was teaching a class on basic quilting and met a group of women who were very interested in continuing sewing as a group. And so they developed the Piecemakers Quilt Club of Hopkins County. The Piecemakers Quilt Club's purpose is to promote quilting to all generations, and the opportunity to share that with others in Western Kentucky and to let them know that there are all kinds of community projects or community needs out there that quilters can become involved in. The Piecemakers Quilt Club began making quilts for our neonatal ICU about 8 years ago, and since then we've made over 800 quilts for the neonatal ICU. The babies who come into the world early, even though they're planned for, they're not always prepared for. And a lot of times there's not been a shower and nobody's been out shopping and there's nothing to bring them home in. So we make the quilts for the nursery so the babies have something colorful, something that can be theirs, something they become familiar with. The families have a little bit of a home atmosphere in the hospital. To be able to have something to wrap and comfort their babies and comfort their mothers and parents as well, it just meant something that we could do for others. The Soldier Block program began about 10 years ago, and it was started by a quilt group who saw a need for recognition to families who lost soldiers killed in a Desert Storm. And they started making soldier blocks, a very simple block out of a Civil War reproduction fabric. Our group found out about this project, which is the Home of the Brave project, and the blocks are made by each individual guild or club members or individuals and are donated to coordinators for the Home of the Brave project. These coordinators and volunteers assemble the blocks into quilts, and as requests come in from families or friends of soldiers killed in action, the quilts are given to the families in honor of their loss. It's a way to be creative and show something that's made with quality. Our fabric is not the fabric that you would see in quilts that you'd see in department stores. And these quilts that we make will be around in 200 years, because if they're cared for well, you see quilts in museums from the 1700s, and these quilts are made by women who use natural products. They used it with love, and it's cared for and respected, and those quilts live on. And it's a way for a part of us to live on in the future when our bodies are long gone. It's a very close neighborhood of quilters. We're able to share our friendships. We have a very good support system with each other. We keep in touch with each other and help enable each other if we're having problems. In this little community of quilters we have now, we take a part and involve in each other's lives and support each other in the things that we enjoy doing. But basically what quilting is you find a pattern or a design that you really like, and then you choose the fabrics that you think will complement that design or pattern. Then you start cutting the patterns out and laying them out to sew them together again. And you put them together into blocks or units, and then when you have the blocks completed, you put them together in rows or sections until you have the body of the quilt. And then once you have the body of the quilt done or the top done, you select a backing that will go on the back that will complement the front of the quilt. Some people just use plain muslin, others like to use a printed fabric to go on the back. And then you also have to have a batting or a center, and there's all kinds of battings from bamboo to silk to cotton to polyester that you can get. The traditional cotton batting, when you make a quilt and it's washed, it'll shrink up and make it look like an antique, whereas the polyester battings will keep you a more flat look, and it'll look more like it's always a new quilt. So it depends on what you want your quilt to appear. How you want it to appear is the type of batting you'll select to use. So as a quilter, I say, look at your community and see where the needs are and see if there's something that you can involve yourself in. And sharing quilting, either by making hats for the chemo, for your cancer centers or for patients getting chemo, making quilts for the nurseries, lap quilts for nursing homes. But there are needs out there, and to become involved in our community and not isolate ourselves, get too attached to our TVs and our computers, to get out there and start helping one another and connecting with one another as individuals.